What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 176 of the Cheesy Controller Podcast. I'm your host, Anton LaPlatte. Joining me, as always, we have the Mayor of Stardew Valley, Chris Montalbano. And don't say what's up. You gotta actually give, like, a legit intro. I've been peeping you lately, because you go first, you be like, what's up, everybody?
I mean, shit, you put me on the spot, and I ain't got nothing to fucking say.
I
How the fuck are y'all doing, goddammit?
Every week. The most degenerate squid in the sea, Jayla Roberts.
You'll know why I'm called that at the end of this episode.
And we got the Race Durag, which is Devon.
I've been playing FIFA.
We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be fighting for no reason. We're going to start talking about fighting games. We're going to start talking about PvP shooters where you're effectively fighting, and then we just start fighting with each other.
I didn't cause it this time.
Playing Under Night.
We were playing Under Night. I realized I am now trash at the game. Maybe I was just having a PS4 luck, but I don't know. Like my wrist got tighter. One more time.
Were you playing?
Yes, I was. I was playing the natural instinct character that I had from playing back in PS4, and I don't know. The combos weren't flowing right.
It's because
my wrists were getting tired.
Comboing.
It was
recently. Weird. I know at least Justin and I have played recently.
Well, even then, like I picked up Phonom and was just automatically just like, okay, I kind of understand this, and maybe I just haven't played a fighting game in a really long time outside of I think Smash Bros, but that doesn't necessarily count as far as combos go. So maybe that's my issue.
Yeah, I know. I definitely I didn't remember my inputs. I didn't remember my combos. Hell, I didn't even realize that I wasn't playing my main until like the match right before we got on Discord. And y'all didn't see that one, but like it went better.
It went better.
Yeah, me and Justin went down to the wire on the first one, and then the second one he figured out my patterns.
That's always what sucks when
Justin's
you figure it out.
Low-key monster.
Yeah.
But also Radic is like a low-key monster in a way that Justin can't seem to counter. So, and then we were just playing with randoms. It was, what was it? Justin, Radic, me. Was Darren in there? I don't think Darren was in there. I feel like there was somebody else we knew, but then there were just randoms. We were on, like, Justin was actually streaming. He's like, I'm going to stream a fighting game.
Yeah.
And so
they haven't fixed the fact that you can't play with people with Clur and people without Clur easily?
I mean, that's as easy as it's going to get. Clur is on sale as of recording for like $12. So that's why pretty much everybody just ended up getting Clur.
Okay. That makes sense. Because I remember back in the day when we were trying to play this on PS4, it was not a good time for solely me.
Well,
just because I got it when it was on sale, and I was like, I guess I got the wrong version.
Well, no.
No, I thought they were having issues with the PS5 version at that time.
Yeah, when the PS5 came last time, like when we initially tried playing on PS5, there were issues, but then there was a patch. Because I remember, it was like after we played, we gave up the first time we tried playing on PS5, just trying to like have the game randomly pop back up, and it was having issues, but that game like never gets patches, and it got a patch.
Yeah.
The game has like 3 patches total, probably.
No, I'm talking about back way before PS5 came out when we were actually all playing this game.
I mean, this game, it comes up frequently. And
it does. I mean, it's a solid fighting game. It's got great visuals. Some
for anybody
pretty
who
unique
doesn't know,
characters.
We're talking about Under Night In Birth EXE late Clur, CLR. And there's some brackets and dashes and colons and there's punctuation.
It's a whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
There's different
like coding.
fonts. Like
it's an
there's
anime
some cursive
game
going on. But I mean, this is a game that we've played.
Why do anime's games have to be so extra?
Because
that's what makes
Western
the
games
anime.
take themselves too seriously.
Right.
Okay.
And Under Night is
Yeah.
super extra all the time in a super awesome way. I want to I'm waiting on Melty Blood to have a significant sale, so more of us we can dip into Melty Blood and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this right now. I think with the way that we play fighters as a group, we're not going to enjoy Melty as much because the new Melty is a defensive game. While the games we play are more like offensive based.
I mean,
You know what I'm
it'd just
saying?
be
Like,
interesting to see how it goes because that's a thing that's kind of been happening recently between Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Uniclur going on sale,
Mm-hmm.
Skullgirls
Skullgirls.
getting an update, like getting Umbrella, like just between all these fighting games doing all these interesting things and like Evo hype kind of like building. I'm feeling like the Evo wave approaching. And it's exciting, bro. We just been throwing hands. We're going to be watching some really good fighting games.
You know, I've been thinking about playing Dragon Ball Fighters because I've been reading the Dragon Ball Z manga in color on the Jump app. I'm thinking about it because I'm like,
I watched a Maximilian
I'm still a
Dude
meathead at heart.
video where he dropped Goku from Dragon Ball Fighters into Guilty Gear Strive.
I saw like shit
Why
post
not?
of that.
It's like a legit mod, and Goku has like Goku's moveset from
Fighters
in
course.
Guilty Gear.
So
But it's
broken.
like, yeah, it's not super good because it's like weird. It doesn't play well in the Guilty Gear engine. It was an interesting video to watch, though.
Yeah.
The developer of the mod, Maximilian Dude, was doing like there were instructions in a Google Doc, and the developer saw that he was streaming using the mod and was in the doc telling him, he's like, "You just deleted your game files, dude." He was supposed to drag one file into a folder and just dragged them all and broke everything. So
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Has anyone in here played Persona 4 Arena?
Yeah.
Arena? Yeah, I love me some Arena.
Wait, the new one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Yeah, that was kind of how the fighting game itch. That was the game that brought it back. That was the one where Radic has it, Justin has it, Madrid has it, I have it. And
yeah, I didn't know that anybody else got it. I know I bought it, and then everybody was like, "I'll
you
get it
don't
when
get
it
on
goes on sale."
PlayStation. That is on you.
Ain't nobody in the Discord talking about no damn fucking Persona 4
because we're in
Arena.
the PlayStation. And to be fair, that is part of the problem. Because Amber was like,
Yeah.
Anton has it. When was the last time Anton played Skullgirls? I was like, 2 days ago. What?
It's because,
Yeah.
you know, it's the whole
We don't
like
send out an invite in the Discord.
that in the PSN
we're just
Discord
in a
disparity
party.
is just honestly kind of awful if we're being 100.
One more time.
The PSN Discord disparity, like the fact that like if we're being 100 here, our main hangout spot is the PSN party, not the Discord.
That's
like
true.
we'd be on the Discord all the time, but when it comes game time, it's always I always see a PSN message. Like that's half the time. That's why I miss things because I don't feel like turning on my PlayStation because I'm doing something else.
Right? Don't you get the notification somebody has started a party on your phone, Chris?
No, I deleted that app because it's useless to me. When the party app, because the party app doesn't work well through the phone. None of y'all could ever hear me or any crap like that. So it's like, why do I even have it?
That is true.
For
Anytime I was
notifications.
playing on PC, I would try to join in through my phone, like with headphones, and you'd be like, "Y'all are coming. You're coming in super low," and then I'll be like, "All right, let me go turn on my PS4. Let me do all this extra work while I'm doing stuff on my PC. I'm not doing anything on my PS4." And then I got a PS5, and it's the same situation. I mean, it is just going to be the same situation because I am still just doing. I'm now doing extra stuff now that I'm getting into graphic design. I'm wanting to do more stuff on my PC than I am wanting to do on my PS5. Especially, I got a 3070, so like,
Yeah, one of my
That's fun.
coworkers today asked when I play games on. They asked if I played games on my PC. I said yes, but it's like less than 5% of the time that I'm gaming. And they were like, "So do you use when you're moving in a game? Do you use the mouse or the keyboard?" I was like,
Depends on the game.
keyboard.
Right.
Depends on the game.
Well, and then I was like,
That's true.
to be real,
Because, for example, in 14, the way I'm able to get out of so much bullshit is by hitting both my mouse keys at the same time and running.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I have to do that nonsense where it's like you have to look away, or you'll get turned to stone.
Yeah, that's another example. 14. I didn't know anybody was back on 14 until
right?
was
We've
like,
been on.
We're on 14, but we're on PlayStation. I was like, I don't fucking play 14 on PlayStation. I'm never going to play 14 ever in my life on PlayStation. I literally have an MMO mouse. I'm never going to go try a controller to play 14, and I'm not going to hook up. I'm not going to hook up.
No,
I'm not going to unplug my keyboard and mouse from my computer.
Radic played like 1,000 hours.
That works for Radic's setup.
I'm not going to unplug my keyboard and mouse from my computer that plays 14 fucking perfectly to play 14 on a PS5 where I don't have any of the expansions.
I mean, yeah, all I'm saying is I have two. I know you have at least 2 monitors, Chris.
You see that 14 channel. You see that 14 channel going crazy.
I see Jawan talking about the new fucking Dragon song, and that was literally about it.
Yeah, we were watching it.
That shit is wild.
But you can go based on activity, showing how much we've been playing it.
I mean, honestly,
that doesn't work.
I have my game status shared on Discord. So if I'm playing a game, it says right next to my name, which is usually the first name in the Discord.
Still doesn't change the fact that the PSN party is the most inconvenient thing in the world.
But PlayStation's the only console working on a Discord app. So
I really do think
Discord,
and I need them to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, PlayStation really needs to they bought their stakes in Discord. They need to do that merger so it would be convenient for people
Just make the freaking app
solely use Discord. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that is an excuse of mine. Yes. I do get the notification still. Do I use that app? Hell no, because that app is useless to me on my phone now because you guys can't hear me when I join the party on that app.
Right,
But do I get the thing that says, and yes, and half the time it's at 8:45 and I'm like, do I hop in a party for 15 minutes and then be like, all right, y'all, I got to go to bed because I got to be up at 5:30?
I do that sometimes. You can run a trial in that amount of time. Hop on.
Can you?
Yeah.
I remember trials. If it's
daily,
fair enough. Okay, trials.
It's really RNG.
Honestly, extreme trials take less.
No, because if you get the dragon trial, then that shit just takes a long time. Just because, no matter how fast you go.
And honestly, it is about the new with me for 14, it is the amount of effort that everybody else wants to put in also, because like I said back when Shadowbringers was on and everybody was getting into finally getting into Shadowbringers, I was like, cool, we can do the dope Shadowbringers hard extreme content, and everybody was like, nah, we'll wait until after Endwalker and then we'll go back and do the.
Because you were trying to do, nobody's trying to do the Endwalker extreme shit. We are trying to do.
Well, no one wanted to do the Shadowbringer, so I'm not going to do a bother asking
let's
if
be
you want to do
here.
Endwalker.
Outside of the main storyline, you don't play the expansion. You play back content.
Well, no, that's not true. I will say he goes out. He's done the Alliance raid. He does the Norm raid.
I have 4 of the birds. I have 6 of the wolves.
Back content.
What
those are in-game. Those are in-game.
I've done every dungeon and trial in both Endwalker and Shadowbringers on multiple difficulties.
Don't you have to for the main storyline?
No.
Are you doing
That's all
Okay,
like
that's a change I didn't expect. Because I thought you had to do basically all of them to finish the MSQ. Because that's how it usually is.
No, okay.
That's only
Well, actually,
that's only in Realm Reborn, really. Because there were the Warring
yeah,
Triad
there's
shit
extra
is
trials. They have done that since
Chris,
Heaven's Ward
anything
and
with a blue exclamation
Stormblood.
mark.
Yeah.
All those shits, no, absolutely, like, the amount of shit that I've done that is blue exclamation marks, that is, like, I have, like, relic weapons and shit.
Well, yeah, we all have relic weapons. That's not hard.
I don't have relic weapons.
Well, I mean, you'll
Do you
get
have
the
the current
Endwalker. I would
relic weapon?
assume you would
The
get the
current relic
Endwalker
weapon isn't out.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Shadowbringers,
I have
yes.
the entire Alliance Raid gear set except for the gloves and helmet. And I have a helmet of equivalent strength that I was able to get with Tomes of Astronomy. But yeah, Chris, we don't do current extreme shit, but I guarantee there's a lot of extreme shit you haven't done because you don't have all the... Do you have all the horses?
No, I'm not talking about past stuff. Like, that's literally what I was saying was like, okay, everyone's caught up. Let's do, like, we now have a raid party. We now have an extreme trial party. And everybody was like, or at least, I mean, everybody in this
We
group
have 4
that I'm
people. We don't have 8 people. And, like, we've been watching the people stream, like, the Dragon Song shit.
I'm not talking about Dragon Song. I'm talking about Shadowbringers. This is when I was talking about it because I got burnt out of 14 after a while. I was like, that's what took me so long to beat Endwalker in the first place because I was like, I played a lot of 14, like a fuck ton of 14 in a very, very short amount of time. And I got burnt out. And then everybody else started playing. And I was like, I'm done with 14 for right now. And Endwalker's about to come out. And I got to build up the the need to beat this. And there is a need, but it was just like the motivation was just like, I played a lot of this game and I put a lot of my time in this game and I put a lot of things aside for this game and I need to go do that. But now everybody's playing 14 when no one was playing 14 when I was like, please play 14. And it was just like a conflicting thing. But when it came to the extreme trials and like doing like the ultimate raid or like the not the ultimate raid, it's like doing Savage Raid, I was like, yeah, let's like get the party, let's get everybody there, let's get hyped. I was getting hyped, and then it was just like, no, we don't want to do that.
Because we wouldn't get enough people. And I mean, Chris, if you hop on, we'll do Expert Roulette, we will do the Endwalker Raid, and we will do the Endwalker Alliance Raid. I've done the Endwalker Alliance Raid, I think, 4 times all the way through, so...
Nice. All the way through. It's only the first one.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah, the only first part's done. 4 times.
4 times.
Okay. I was like, did I miss something?
I've been doing my Wondrous Trails for XP and for money and for MGP because I want that pod mount. I'm about to... So I've been doing gold saucer shit.
Is it the pod mount or is it the pod?
I have both the minions. There's a mount
pod
where
minion?
you like
hold on. You hold on to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want that shit.
That is dope. That to be the whole near
like we did
was
the
sick.
extreme Rathalos enough times for all of us to get the mount, and I have the full armor set. I don't know if anybody else got the full armor set, but I have the full armor set and the mount.
But yeah, but that's like Stormblood. That's Stormblood. We're what, level 90 now? Or you were level 80 when you were doing that? That's nothing to a level 80 character. You're 10 levels over that extreme whatever.
I mean, I'm down to try. If your heart is set on extreme trials in Endwalker, I will give it a go with you.
Right.
We can do Party Finder. We can do whatever. I'll commit to As long as I'm at home and playing games, and I mean, every time I'm on 14, Discord says it in big bold letters right below my name. Playing Final Fantasy 14, it'll say playing Under Night, it'll say playing. What else have I been playing lately? It might say Call of Duty, it might say Apex. I wonder how long this Star Wars stuff is staying in Fortnite, because I might play some Fortnite.
How long has it been since you played Fortnite?
A minute. Like, I played semi-recently with Radek and Lana, but that was just...
Did it matter to you that you couldn't build anymore? Or?
I mean, I chose no build mode, and there's like an overshield, and like the movements improved and stuff, so I kind of like it.
I feel like they wouldn't just take something out and not to try to improve other aspects of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, that
wouldn't make sense.
The game's been running on Unreal Engine 5 for like months now, and so
yeah,
it runs really well. It plays really well. I don't have. If I'm keeping up with one Battle Pass like game right now, is Apex.
Is it good? Is Apex back? I don't know. From the grapevine, which the grapevine is you guys, Apex has not been on its game.
Oh no! Since the PS5 version came out, it's been. I feel like we've had a pretty strong like swell of people playing, and then there was lore shit. There was like a story thing in the game, and so there's lore going on, and the new season's about to drop. So
new character next week.
Yep, and I have
changes to rank.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The only thing they're saying, they're thinking about not dropping characters as often. They're saying they're possibly exploring that option going forward. But it's like, I mean, that's probably not the best choice if you're not cranking out other content. Like, you better make sure that your skins are on point, the limited time modes are fucking fun. Like, the battle pass delivers, new maps, new guns. Like, if you're taking away characters, you got to give us something else.
Do you feel like Apex has been delivering upon that in recent times?
This season's good. I didn't really like last season.
Yeah.
What was the last new gun we got?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's been Madrid's, like, he's been the one who's like, who loved Apex the most, has been on Apex like the longest, and was like, Apex is the shit.
Day one.
I mean, I understand that, but like, I feel like Madrid was like really,
Madrid's
like,
higher level
playing that shit. Like,
Madrid's
even when like that's his game, he always goes back to.
Doesn't matter.
But so I really want to know, like, do you feel like the team is supporting Apex in the way that you would want it to?
Because even with that, I'm probably not even the best one to comment on it, because the amount of Apex I've played in the last few seasons has been a lot lower than usual. But I guess that kind of speaks to the state of the game. But there's also been other shit I've been playing.
Effectively, it's the same game as it's always been. We got new characters and a couple of new modes, but effectively, it's still the exact same game.
I mean, the modes are extremely different.
Yeah, but it's still effectively the same game. The modes are simply, hey, what are the conditions in which I will find and shoot you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's... Yes, it is the same game. It's not saying it's a different game.
Right. I mean, if I'm going to play a shooter, that's what I'm going to expect from it.
Oh, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm expecting Apex to, like, turn into Titanfall. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, in some ways, it kind of has. Some ways.
Until I see wall running, I'm not going to call it Titanfall until I see wall running.
Have you seen fucking Revenant run up the side of a building?
Apex does not have the movement of Titanfall. That's the thing about it, is Apex doesn't want to be a movement shooter half the damn time either.
You played Pathfinder, though. So you know it can have that.
I'm the doggone movement main. I only play movement characters, and they don't want me to have nice things.
Oh, no.
Do you... All right, this is going to be a really trash take, and everybody's going to hate me for it.
Hit me.
Do you think, with what I'm gathering, aside from Anton, he seems like Apex is not doing, it's doing what it can, but it could do more, but it's not doing bad. But from everyone else, I'm feeling like it's getting stale. Do you think it will
that's why I haven't played it.
Do you think it will get to a point where it's like Overwatch without the Overwatch stigma of like Blizzard being behind it?
It's like
It wasn't even like, but the thing, we stopped playing Overwatch not because Blizzard was bad, because that wasn't even out at the time we quit. We quit because, one, it was a team game that stopped caring about individual skill. And then also, like,
They got
let's
stale.
be 100 here. And then also, like, at least Apex will
character
drop
drops were
something every
fucking
10 weeks.
throttled.
I know that the longest we'll have to wait for contents in Apex is 10 weeks.
right. That was really what killed Overwatch. Overwatch stopped dropping content.
That's
Apex continuously drops a character, updates the maps, adds guns, will do events with skins. And the thing is, Apex is a game that will consistently be in rotation. It's like 14. It's like whatever the most recent Monster Hunter.
Literally, unless they shoot themselves in the foot with some decision making, or like, you know, connectivity goes back to being utter dog shit.
Yeah, I could
Then
see
it's
Apex.
like, okay, yeah, I can't really fuck with
Apex
this
is
anymore.
in the top 5 right now, and it's been in the top 5 pretty much since it came out of shooters in general. It'll be whatever the newest Call of Duty is, Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, Apex, and PUBG.
Gee,
Yeah, PUBG, dude, PUBG's insanely popular. PUBG, like,
I thought
outside
PUBG
of
is-
like
Honestly,
people who play
yeah, it
PUBG is like people who play Call of Duty Mobile, people who play League of. It's not on the same scale of League.
Okay. Wait. So it's more. Wait. So is PUBG more popular on the mobile side, or
It's just popular. Period. PUBG just rakes in money.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they just had a Nier Automata crossover.
What?
Was that
Yeah.
PUBG?
PUBG has had some wild shit. I know they had an Arcane crossover.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But I mean, it's all these live service games. Destiny's not even really in that upper echelon anymore. But like, we see shooters come and go. But I feel like Apex has solidified itself. It's super big in Japan. Like, it's super, and then so you have to think of these games outside of.
Okay, Anton, I would like to say something. What I figured, I knew why PUBG didn't sound right to me, because the answer is Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is on some ignorant shit. Like,
is this? Well, yeah, Escape from Tarkov I know is
like
super popular.
That's the game I was
still playing that.
Dog.
But is it? Let's look at the top 5 shooters. I know this is just me going like off numbers again, but this isn't Metacritic. This is, I feel like, just going on Twitch, browsing, looking for the top 5 shooters. So right now, number 1's Overwatch. Number 2 is Apex Legends. Oh, actually,
Wait,
number 2 is
You say
Splatoon.
right now number 1 is Overwatch?
Yeah.
Wait, what's that? What are you measuring with again?
Twitch live viewers, and this is a Wednesday night, like a little bit past prime time, but like, and I'm just going through the top games on Twitch. It's Final Fantasy 14, Monster Hunter Rise. Oh wait, no, this is not in viewer order. Sort by viewers high to low. Okay. Number 1 is Valorant. Number 2 is Apex. Number 3 is Call of Duty. Number 4 is Fortnite. Number 5 is Counter-Strike. So that's top 5. And Apex
Counter-Strike is having a big resurgence right now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, Marauders is in here, but I mean, it's still like, I don't know what Marauders is, but I mean, it has 80,000.
It's the new season of Valorant.
No. Valorant has like a different tag. Like, if you go to Twitch, you sort Like, just go to browse, viewers, high to low. It's just chatting is number 1. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 2. League of Legends is number 3. Valorant is number 4. Apex is number 5. Call of Duty is number 6. Marauders, whatever that is, I've literally never seen this game before in my life, is number 7. And then Fortnite's number 8. So that's the top 8 games on Twitch and Apex this many years after release. What's it, like 3 years plus? Is in the top 8 things on Twitch in general. I don't feel like that's a game falling off, you know? I feel like that's a game kind of like in its prime, really
holding on.
I mean, but you got to look at the landscape of gaming. Like, for example, where are they going to go?
Who, Apex
when it
players?
comes to like, yeah, like where would they even go?
I mean, a lot of us went to 14 for like several seasons of that game.
That's true.
I think everybody just went to 14.
But I feel like
everybody did go to 14 for Endwalker.
We're not high competitive shooter players. We're multiplayer players. Like, as long as the game has multiplayer, and is
honestly,
easily available for us, we'll play it.
It's whatever big game has multiplayer is what the group tends to go for. I mean, you were Apex, then 14, and then Elden Ring. I mean, even though Elden Ring, most of it was played in single player, you could hop in with the homies and like help each other out. With like Monster Hunter Rise, like
yep,
those are the games that really like the entire group is playing.
Yeah, and I mean we do that consistently.
Marauders is an Escape from Tarkov style game. It looks like Tarkov.
Okay. But I mean, Tarkov's not in the top even 15 on Twitch right now, so.
But also, like, yeah, but I don't personally feel like Twitch is as good of a measurement because of the gravitational forces of very specific streamers. Like, Marauders is big right now because XQC is streaming it right now.
Oh, I do see that. And that
like
is
most of their viewers is XQC.
Right, yeah. 75.
That's why I don't think Twitch is that good of a measurement
80,000.
for like a game's actual popularity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, heck, I've been watching Asmongold for months, and I was like, during the most of me playing Final Fantasy 14, I was watching Asmongold play WoW. I wasn't playing WoW, but Asmongold's funny.
Fair enough.
But yeah, getting back to Apex and it dying out the way Overwatch died out, I don't think it's.
You don't think it'll ever get there?
I think at some point.
Well, it also can't because the developers didn't just straight up abandon the game for an unnecessary sequel.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But isn't Apex under EA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does have the possibility.
I mean, the monetization is trash. The servers were horseshit for a long time. Like, we're not saying this game's perfect. Like, the gameplay.
Well, yeah. I haven't heard that at all. I was just trying to see if Apex would, like, if they keep going in the same direction, do you think it would come in the same vein of Overwatch?
Eventually, all shooters do that. Like, the only shooter that is resilient to that is Counter-Strike. And I guess
Counter-Strike goes through that. That's Counter-Strike is literally just getting out of that. Most Counter-Strike players abandon it for Valorant.
That's true.
And
but they always go back.
Well, they're coming back because literally CS:GO just dropped an update, but their matchmaking is still ass.
Yeah, but who goes back to Overwatch?
No.
Right, that's
very small population of people. And most of them don't really
editor. Shout out to our video editor.
And I mean, yeah, Alana does go back and play, and it'd be interesting to talk to her about why. But like looking at this,
you have to really.
I mean,
discuss
like to really like think back about Overwatch. Like to think back about when I was having a good time, like thinking about Overwatch, like it's a distant ex-girlfriend that I am now healthy enough to be like, that was a good time. Overwatch did have some good things about it. And then it wasn't. Yeah, and then it wasn't, and that's why I moved on.
And you just have to know in your head, if you go back, it's not going to be the good time. It's going to be the bad time.
I'm going to tell you this right now. As someone who's been playing Overwatch 2, if you do not currently like Overwatch right this minute, don't bother. It's the exact same shit. Sojourn's pretty cool, though. She's a pretty cool character, but it's also like... It's still fucking character. Overwatch. Right. It still has the same problem. Just because we removed 2 players from the game, which honestly I don't think helps anything. Just it's still fucking Overwatch.
Does. It's 5v5 now. It's 1 tank. Yeah,
I'm going to say this right now. The only reason why it does, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the biggest problem with Overwatch. Number 1, we don't have more anti-healing because we still basically have the same healing problem as we always had.
Yeah, and they just took one big health pool from each team.
They just took a tank away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's the balance of the fact that it's like, the healers still feel a little bit too strong, but that's also because it doesn't feel like the DPS can actually carve through people half the damn time.
Have you seen any of the new maps in Overwatch 2? Because that's one thing. I don't know how many.
Yes, I actually played the new push map.
Okay.
The maps are.
One you're trying to be diva.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's one of those, I don't have much to say about Overwatch 2 because it's literally just Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like this should have been a 10-week this should have been a 10-week game change.
Yeah, this is too little, too late to revive that game. I'm going to definitely give it a chance cuz the PvP is definitely going to be a free upgrade. So
I'm going to say this right now. If we all get together and get a 5-man and I have time, yeah, I'll boot up the PlayStation and play some Overwatch with you, but
yeah, I agree. I feel like right now, in my state of mind, I don't think I would play Overwatch 2.
Good.
If there was a certain amount of time that passed and Overwatch 2 looked appealing and everybody was like, you know what, let's actually sit down and give it a try, I'd be like, I'll download it.
And that is something.
I'll tell you exactly how you get me back at Overwatch. I'll list exactly how you do it. Number 1, your PvE needs multiplayer.
Yes.
I need to be able to play a game, just a mode with just my friends, like the horde mode, the archive mode. Give me some of that. If the PvE content is that, we could start getting into something because that was fun. What was that archive mission where you were playing as like Talon? That was fun as hell.
Yeah, it's gonna be that.
If we get more of that stuff, yeah, cool. I'm in it. But if it's just the same online multiplayer, well, let me rephrase. The first thing that's going to release is the free multiplayer update.
Yeah.
So then I have to ask the question. So let me rephrase. Blizzard better drop $60 worth of PvE content in Overwatch 2, or there's no point in buying it.
I don't think it's going to be $60. Because remember, it was only $60 for like the Origins edition of Overwatch. This is going to probably be more like a DLC of like...
I don't believe Blizzard would not try and sell this as a $60 game. I do not believe it. I believe they're going to pick money.
Because isn't $40 how much a WoW expansion is without any of the extra shit? Isn't that $40? I see this being a $40 expansion.
Yeah, but WoW actually had content in it. Like...
It's going to be all the PvE content. I
don't think there's going to... I just don't think there's going to be a lot of PvE content. That's just what I believe.
Okay.
And they're going to charge $60 for it.
I think they're going to charge $60 for the edition that comes with multiplayer skins and like something shiny that...
Oh, no. You best be able to use those skins in single player. If you can't use...
I do want to know...
They're going to let you do that.
I do want to know if this is just... Overwatch 1 with PvE, why'd they get rid of Tracer's
And slight
ass?
balance changes.
Why they get what?
Why'd they get rid of Tracer's ass?
It's the same model. Overwatch Point just makes you think her ass looked fatter than what it was.
Yeah.
Damn it, they got me again.
Also, when she's running, it probably looks more prominent because she's bent over slightly.
That makes sense.
But then
the
also,
same thing,
I would like to
Chris.
say is Blizzard has been getting. But I would also say is after they were getting called out, they got rid of a lot of like the pseudo-eroticism out of a lot of their games. Like some of their more salacious portraits in Warcraft all got removed and replaced with fruit and bullshit. So I would not put it past Blizzard to desexualize their characters. I wouldn't put it past them.
Fruit and bullshit.
So here's my official prediction on what's going to happen with Overwatch 2. They're going to put out the PvP.
It's going to be
a
mids.
free update. It's going to have more than one character and more than 2 maps. When that comes out,
they did announce they were putting more characters. I think they did say they were going to put another character into the beta.
Hold on.
Let me just get through my prediction of what's going to happen.
Sorry.
There's going to be a $40 expansion that is just the PvE content because the PvP content will be free. Because even when Overwatch launched, if you bought Overwatch on Battle.net, Overwatch was $40. Everybody pretty much bought the Origins edition because it came with all those skins and all those bonuses. Like, I still have that card back in Hearthstone. Like, all that shiny extra shit. That version is going to be $60. But if you buy it on PC by itself, just the PvE stuff, it will be $40. And that's how I think it's going to... Yes, pretty much everybody's going to spend $60 on it, but it's not going to exclusively be $60 for the PvE. I think there will be a $40 option out the gate.
I think they need to make it...
I would like to...
Go ahead,
go, Chris.
Oh, I think they need to make... they need to take a new route with this. They need to charge for maps. They need to maybe not. They need to charge for seasons.
The player pool, and I mean that's what battle passes are.
I understand that, but them not charging, them only charging $40 for the entire run of Overwatch 1 sucked. The ingenuity just sucked the morale, or you felt the creativity come out of the designers of it. You felt like some characters were coming out and you're like, okay. It's in some maps they had sparks of creativity, but even sometimes the fact that we were getting free updates, free characters, free maps wasn't great all the time.
The real problem was they balanced the game towards
Overwatch League.
Yeah, their esports instead of the people who were playing the game. So since we weren't playing on an esports level and we were just playing on a normal person trying to enjoy a game level.
Right. I just want to play Zenyatta. Peace be upon you.
I would like to add a couple of things. So I would like to add some nuance and refocus my prediction. Yeah, the $40 edition will be for last-gen consoles and PC. If you want it on new-gen consoles, you're going to pay that full $60.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm just saying.
But also, I still don't believe Blizzard isn't just going to abandon this game like they have. That's something else I would like to say. Because
this game's going to definitely come out.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to come out. What I'm going to say is we're going to end up in a situation where we were last time, where we get drip-fed content maybe once, maybe twice a year. It's not going to be enough to sustain it, so that people start getting bored and your player base drops.
What do you think that a game? Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like didn't they change McCree's name because it was the same name as one of the guys who was?
They named it after one of the people caught in that suit.
Right, and they changed the name.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would still do that if they're trying to let the game die? Like if the game was just going to die, would
I
they
don't
make
say
the
they were
effort
gonna let
to
the
do
They're
game
not
that?
trying to let it die, but they're not.
They don't want it to die. They're just not going to
They're
invest
not putting
anymore
in enough content to get people to stick. Because
Overwatch
I feel what
League been
Jalen's
going
saying.
this whole time. Overwatch League pretty much never
Yeah,
stopped.
there's a difference between Overwatch
Yeah.
League and people actually playing the game.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
could be a dead game and have a
heck, think
popping
about it.
esports community.
Where do you think the GOATS meta came
That's
from?
true.
That became the worst part of Overwatch for literally 2.5 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Like literally,
like
it got to the point
watching
where it was so
football. I
bad
don't
that they
play that
literally
shit.
had to bring out a character, start designing
that just
characters
came
to
from-
deal with that, and then
that
they
just
made
came from Brig.
Baptiste.
That just came from Brig just being she just
No,
fundamentally
it came
broke
from the fact
game.
that it comes from the fact that there's too much healing in that game. In any game with healing, your healing should never be able to truly overpower your DPS. In Overwatch, it's not that hard. It's to the point that the healers are DPSing because it's that easy to keep people up. Like, if you're playing an assassin character, you can't carve through a squishy character.
That's true.
You don't have the DPS to actually carve through somebody.
That's
Well,
why
you do-
Lucio was so
That's
fucking
part of the
badass.
thing. They removed Orissa's shield and they removed a tank. So like that would be part
No,
of the
even
thing.
now, I'm talking about when I was playing yesterday.
But
I was playing as Genji and I was smacking people left and right and it did not feel like I was carving through those health bars. Even the smaller people. Even like the sub 200 health bars. Genji did not feel like he was cutting through that.
I feel
You gotta get every shuriken has to be a headshot.
It doesn't feel good. It feels awful because it's like, I'm doing all of this.
You gotta
It's one
deflect
of those
and
things
then
that's like,
finish
why
with the
are the
dash.
beefier, higher health characters just performing so much better? It's one of those, it comes back to what I was saying about the DPS. Overwatch still feels like it has this DPS problem. I don't feel like I can carve through anybody unless I'm doing something unless it's like very specific things, usually around Sojourn specifically for me, but it really doesn't feel like the DPS characters are actually able to deal with the amount of healing and the health bars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll wait till I play it because as May, I would be able to like take squishies out with 2 tanks and infinite healing going on. It would only be certain bursts.
But this is the thing about May. This is the thing you got to remember about May is May's charge hit hits harder than every other DPS character's move in the game.
Not Widowmaker's scope shot.
Except, that's the only exception is a fully charged Widow headshot. But think about the execution and the consistency of a May's charge headshot versus a Widow's charge headshot. You can get way more consistency out of a May than you can a Widow.
Yeah, okay. And so that's why I would play May more than I would play Widow because it's like if I know
I know, but the thing about it is that problem then translates to when it comes to the feeling, translates to every other DPS character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would see.
I mean, I will agree. Like playing Reaper at the beginning when Reaper the game just dropped
Back in the Beyblade meta.
Yeah, playing Reaper in the beginning of the game, outside of his special where he's just like getting those. Like people have now predicted, like Reaper could at least get through a tank. Now, like Reaper is harder to get through.
Well, no,
tanks.
Reaper would be like net, and now there's only 1 tank in Overwatch 2, so there's that. But Reaper was
only one
known
shield
as a
tank.
tank buster.
There's a lot more health bar tanks. That's
there's
also
only 1 on the field at any time per team. It's 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 healers. So at no point, like if Reaper, as somebody who played Reinhardt primarily, the one thing that would be like, oh shit, is if a Reaper's just rolling up on me because I know a Reaper's going to take me down.
Yeah. I loved using Reapers against Reinhardt. And
I mean, that was even up until when the last time I really played the game, and I know that was still a couple of years ago, but...
Yeah. I do have to remember, like...
Yeah. We're not an Overwatch podcast. We never were.
We're not, but I mean,
yeah, it is kind of...
It's news.
Yeah, it's
Ish.
what's going on. And this all stemmed from Apex, and like we talked about, Apex, new character, new season.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to really talk about some news, we could talk about the fact that Naoki Yoshida did an interview with IGN and talked about Final Fantasy 16 being almost done.
Let's go.
Yeah,
That is dope.
That is my
I mean-
most anticipated upcoming game, period. It's Final Fantasy 16.
Honestly, Final Fantasy 16 looks so damn good. I have never beaten a Final Fantasy game outside of 14, and I want to beat this game.
I beat 14, I beat 15. I need to finish 7 remake. The set we got
I beat a lot of them. I'm gonna
I
leave it
beat
at
most
that.
of them. I think
I
the
beat
only
But-
ones I
Rise of
haven't
multiple
beaten
times.
are the 13 sequels,
Mhm.
15. Yeah, I think those are the only ones I actually haven't finished.
11.
11.
11 don't count.
Well, 11 got.
11 don't count. That was the OG MMO.
Lem don't count.
Can you still
But
play
I'm
11?
excited for 16.
Yeah.
There's private servers.
No, there's
Yeah.
live servers. 11's still up. You can go on Steam right now, buy 11, and pop in and play.
Do you need a subscription?
I think
That's
so.
wild. How'd you buy a subscription for a PS2 game?
Same way you're paying a subscription for 14.
Right, the same way I buy my subscription for
Uh,
14 and put it
Is
in
there a
Mog
different
Station.
Mog station? Oh, just the same Mog station?
It's the same Mog.
Y'all are saying that like it was easy to get on the internet back in the day, like as easy as it is today.
I'm saying the game still works today because it's that easy to do it today.
Right. I was saying back in the day, how did you do this as much? Because you're saying I didn't think there was a subscription. I thought you just bought the game.
This WoW subscriptions were around a lot longer than that.
Were they?
Okay, first things first. Subscriptions has been the backbone of MMO since forever.
Well, that's,
I mean, this goes back to like Ultima,
Fair.
EverQuest. Like,
unless you played RuneScape free, and then that was tight.
yeah, you specifically had to play RuneScape free.
Yes. My ass specifically, my mom was not going to pay no dollars a month for a video game.
Yeah, hell no. What do y'all think it drops? What are your
16.
predictions?
It's soon?
Yeah. Do you think it will be this
I expect a
year?
release date in the next 2 months.
Like it's
Like-
going to release in the
A
next
release
2
date
months?
announcement in 2 months.
No.
I expect
I
it
think-
to actually
I
fully,
think
I
early
expect it to
next
be in
year.
my console by December.
I
No.
think January, February of next year.
I say summer.
I think so
April,
too.
May 2023. I think summer.
I'm thinking spring.
I mean, I could see it because Yoshida is like way better about
They
this.
keep talking about it too consistently. Like anytime there's like a real like,
They haven't been talking about 16.
I feel like there's a new. I feel like something comes up
There's
about
2
16.
trailers.
I
A
just
trailer,
wanna go-
like
just
talking
like
about
Breath
it
of the
doesn't
Wild.
constitute a trailer.
Right.
I just
You know,
wanna go-
talking about it could be a tweet or something like this, and them saying,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like I
That's
see
true.
something
We're getting-
like that
we're
every
getting
other
closer.
week.
not,
It's been a little delayed. Sorry about that.
Right, because the
But we're working
16
on it.
development stuff came from a Unico interview.
Oh, it was Uniqlo clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like weirdly translated. Somebody actually got somebody to like translate it instead of Google Translate it, which is what most of the reporting on it has been. But I still feel like Naoki Yoshida is saying 16 is almost done. We're kind of getting in the time frame of when I was expecting 16, even with COVID slowing down development. And it's the same thing I was saying a few weeks ago when you're like, they keep talking about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm like, they don't really keep talking about Breath of the Wild 2 in the same way they don't.
No,
really...
I feel like they talked about 16 way more than they talked about Breath of the Wild 2. And when I said they were talking about Breath of the Wild 2, I specifically meant that one period in time around the Nintendo Direct when we thought they were going to announce it, and they were like, no, what was it? Skyward Sword remake.
Yeah, but the reason they talked about it is they're like, hey, we like don't expect this information. We're doing something else. Here's Skyward Sword. The same way when Kingdom Hearts didn't like immediately just be like, boom, Kingdom Hearts 4. They did other stuff to be like, this is Kingdom Hearts focused. Don't expect like Final Fantasy. That's like expecting an SMT announcement out of the Persona thing.
Why would I expect a Persona announcement when they missed their own anniversary?
No,
like, first things first, I don't believe in anniversary announcements because most of the games that I actually cared about for their anniversary missed their announcements.
What, Metroid?
No. First it was 14, then it was Mega Man, then it was Sonic. I mean, Final Fantasy, Sonic, Mega Man did it. Like, Persona does it all the time.
I feel like all these things.
Persona literally has been. Atlas has been the objectively worst at it in the recent years. I will say that.
But the Persona.
Because they said, keep a lookout for our anniversary. They would say, keep a lookout for the anniversary and not announce shit.
But they've dropped the merch. They announced Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. There have been like.
I know what I said.
Well,
you're just saying
Persona news is looming. This shit will be here before we know it. Yeah. And it's going to probably be divisive because it's probably going to be an announcement for something else, announcing an announcement at a musical festival. But that's besides the point. The point is it's looming. And 16 is what I am excited for right now. I'm thinking spring next year.
Yeah, Final Fantasy does something.
We'll definitely find out in a few months. Like, this is the flood before all the game news starts like really coming in for like what's slated for the rest of this year and then next year.
Last week.
Didn't who?
They did.
Yeah.
The Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, they announced it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Xbox and Bethesda is June 12th. So it's that Sunday during E3. It's going to be roughly 90 minutes, which is like shorter than I was expecting for that.
That's about what I expected. I don't expect these super long, with the fact that it's like you don't have like.
It's E3.
How?
Like, I know it's not
right,
E3,
and with all the extra stuff you have to put in for E3, you might as well spend some extra time,
right,
talking about
90
some other
minutes
stuff.
Is
but
not
it's like,
a lot of time, especially for Xbox showcases specifically. Mm-hmm. 90 minutes is short.
Mm-hmm.
How long was their last year's? Because I feel like that was only like 90 minutes.
I mean, you could look at it, but I feel like it was longer than that. Xbox 2021 press conference.
Hour and 25.
I guess so. For me, it feels kind of short, but.
But that's the thing about it, though. But that's the thing about it is with that you get the pre-show, but at E3 you get a pre-show, and there's
Xbox like is really good about. They're like, oh, look, if we got news, especially these recent years, we're just going to drop all the news ahead of time. Like
they communicate heavy.
Yeah, they're going to be like, look, the press conference will be games. If we want to talk about. Because last year, they had the Xbox Extended thing, which is where they did the design labs and where they did, like, the deep dive in Total War and, like, actually had all that kind of stuff. but
the
like,
backgrounds of
yeah.
the games and brought developers in, which was like cool, but it wasn't any news.
I mean, some of it was news. Like, it was information we didn't have about those games that they talked about in the E3 showing.
Yes.
And, like, other stuff around that. But last year was a good example of game. And I mean...
Oh, I forgot to tell you something about Overwatch, Anton. I forgot to mention one important thing.
What's up?
May freezes don't freeze no more.
They just slow down. And I mean, that's fine. That's cool.
That's probably for the best. No.
Honestly.
Also,
yeah. I mean,
we're gonna go back and do.
Dude, we're trying not to.
We're not doing. No, I
was looking at Xbox stuff, and I noticed something on another page I had that I was like, let me just put this in to say I said it.
I just wanted to come out and say that Final Fantasy XI Online came out in 2002, where WoW came out in 2004, and the RuneScape came out in 2001. So because of RuneScape and their extra membership, I understand the subscription. I just didn't understand it being solely a PlayStation 2 player at the time. Because I even know at the time in 2002 that PlayStation had online capabilities.
Something comparable, because this game, like Final Fantasy XI, was also on Xbox 360.
Yes.
Xbox Live was a gaming subscription back then. I mean, it still is.
But PlayStation 2 and Xbox came out around, like, I think PlayStation 2 came out a year after the original Xbox did.
Yeah.
Dreamcast had online capabilities.
They all did.
Dreamcast was ahead of its time.
So did GameCube.
Put that Ethernet cable in.
GameCube also had a slot at the bottom that you could plug in an ether. Like, you got an adapter just like the PS2 and plugged it in, and it would have been able to play online. Yeah. That's where you would play Final Fantasy.
I'm so happy is gone. Selling adapters to get internet access. I'm so happy that sin is gone.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, but that also like came in back in the day when like the internet wasn't necessarily known as well as it is.
Yeah, but you could always stuck an Ethernet cable in the back of it. We never needed the adapter shit. That was just another thing to sell us.
That's true.
Heck, even Microsoft had us buying freaking Wi-Fi kits so we could use our own freaking Wi-Fi.
But there's also back in the day when most people also did not have a computer.
Right, that's the thing. None of these things are as ubiquitous as they are now.
Like
now,
most households have computers.
Yeah, multiple computers, multiple smartphones, multiple
internet
tablets,
capability. Like
multiple.
It was
screens,
back. It was back in the day when you like got AT&T for your landline and not for your data.
TV. You would watch just straight up TV.
Exactly.
It's
like
different time, different place, different.
2001, 2002 was a different time. It wasn't a time where you were like specifically trying to get dial up because that shit slapped.
Oh, yes. The sound of the internet.
Dog.
The cry. The Pokemon cry.
Trying to log on, but somebody's on the phone.
And miss that sound.
I mean, it's well documented on YouTube.
It is. But like that sound to me, like reminds me of going like on RuneScape and fucking looking up cheat codes for like video games for like back in the day, and just like really that those key sounds is the sound of my childhood.
I mean, I'm thinking even past dial-up, like when DSL was a thing and those sounds were gone, but the internet still hadn't fully matured. Like I remember reading like on Therapy.net back in the day about like Japanese only event distributions in like Game Boy Advance games and being like
wild
stuff like that, and really just. Yeah.
Yo, not to get super off topic, like
just to say thing about the ubiquity of the internet in the year 2000 in America, just using America for fixed broadband subscriptions as an internet, they had 7 million people in 2000. Like
That's not a lot of people.
No, but that's not my point here. It's the fact that like it's not just an infrastructure thing. It's more of like people were on the internet because EverQuest had player numbers out the ass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, people were on
on PCs. If you had a PC that could do all that stuff and you were on the internet, you were doing that.
But by the time we got to the point, it was if you didn't have to buy this extra piece, you could just plug your Ethernet cable and do the thing.
Yeah, but like, I guess fine, that's fair.
Like that was just an unnecessary barrier to charge me more money.
Is fair, but to PlayStation, to
but also
I honestly
kitted out is still cheaper than the PS5.
I will say only PlayStation, because PlayStation at the time was the only PlayStation Dreamcast. Did Dreamcast come with the Ethernet port already in the back of it? Because Xbox, when it released, did
the
come
Sega
with
Dreamcast?
Yeah.
It even had DLC.
Right. Xbox came in with it had an Ethernet connection already plugged in. You could plug it into the back of it. Yeah. So it was like, but PlayStation came PlayStation 2 came in before, like, you can say 7 million people in America had that connection, but like, that doesn't mean anything to the sales that PlayStation 2 had. Like, I mean, how many?
What does that have to what does the sales have to do with its internet?
Because it didn't like Sony did not know where
it is good that
internet was going to go.
It is the PS2 could have been better. Yes, the GameCube and PS2 needing an adapter was a way for them to charge you more money, but it wasn't necessary for most games. Most people didn't have them, and then it is good that with the PS3 and Xbox 360 that we just had Ethernet ports in it and Wi-Fi and could just...
And wait, hold on. And PlayStation 2's, like, PlayStation Defense... Xbox 360, when it originally launched, did not have Wi-Fi connection. You had to buy a Wi-Fi adapter to connect to Wi-Fi.
That already. I already bitched about that.
But like, then they released a Slim saying, "Oh, Wi-Fi is the shit. Apparently, everybody's going to get that." And then it's now in everything. Like, technology evolves with the times. They don't they're not just going to predict what's going to happen. They're going to see what everybody's going to do, and then they evolve with the times. That's why Apple's been so behind for years.
Because Apple doesn't come up with their own... Because they don't... Okay, so what you're saying is corporations don't innovate. They force people of lower economic abilities to figure out the solutions, co-opt them, and then sell it back to their audience. You're absolutely right about how capitalism works, Chris.
Yes, that's exactly where we were going to go.
All right.
But also, 50% of Americans have internet usage by that year.
And then
50% of Americans were using internet.
But when was the PS2 designed in a lab? Like, it released at this time.
Designed in a lab.
Because nobody, right now, nobody built a PS4 thinking about ray tracing. Because nobody knew ray tracing was going to be a thing that people cared about in their games. So
you're right. They designed it to be an overpriced Blu-ray player.
The
The PS3.
PS3, but
the PS3.
I know, Anton, you were specifically talking about PS4.
The PS3 specifically.
It wasn't
the PS3 came out day one. With an Ethernet cable.
As an overpriced Blu-ray player.
It's an argument I did not want to get into because...
To you, it was a Blu-ray player. To me, it was a PS3. I was going to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy Versus 13 on it, and it was going to be and Final Fantasy 7 remake.
And Persona 5.
And it was going to be and Persona 5.
So you bought it for promises never kept. Excellent. I love capitalism so much. Buying things for promises never kept.
Damn, you actually you said that with straight up confidence. I was like,
Damn, is that why I never got a PS3? Because Kingdom Hearts
like-
3 never came out for
I was
it.
like, did Kingdom Hearts 3 actually come
I mean,
out
let's
for the
be 100
PS3
here.
and I'm fucked up?
PS3 didn't truly become worth it until like the back half of its life cycle.
That's
no,
true.
until the Slim, which was like 2 years in.
Wasn't that the back half of its life cycle?
No, the
No.
PS3 was around for like 8 years. The Slim came out 2 to 3
I know the
years
PS3
within.
generation. I know that entire generation was long for console generations.
Yeah, but
I know
you
that
can't
for a
say
fact.
that 2 is that 6 years is the back half of 8 years. It
You
is
say 2 years.
2 years. Like, you can't say after 2 years you're in the back half of your lifespan. If your lifespan's 8 years, even if it's 3 years.
Okay,
it's still
I'll
within-
adjust my math. I'll adjust my math here. It was an overrides Blu-ray player for the first third of its life cycle. I got the math right this time. My bad. First third.
PS3 games that were released in 2008?
The PS3 dropped 2006. The Slim came 2009.
I mean, yeah.
And I remember the Slim coming out and there being games already out on it that I wanted, and got the Slim, got like...
I guess Resistance 2
Actually, I
was
can
out.
still say back half because it's 3 to 4.
Little Big Planet came out.
The PS4 came out in 2013. The Slim came out in 2009. That's only 4 years. That's literally the back half.
What game did you say really really jump started the PS3 being like, that's now a great console?
Uncharted 2,
Uncharted 2?
if you ask me specifically.
Okay, I got Uncharted 2 and Anton. What would you say? Damn, this game really
the first
made
good game, or the first, or like, because the biggest game of the PS3 that was like first party is The Last of Us, but there were good games to play long before The Last of Us.
I'm not saying the best
didn't say
game.
that,
I'm just saying
But
the
it wasn't
game that
games that
you
were like.
play.
But most of those games were third party.
I don't give it. Wait, hold on. I'm literally
They were still
specifically.
video games that you played on a PlayStation. That is all the fuck that I'm saying.
I was literally just asking
I bought
you.
one Blu-ray and watched one Blu-ray on my PS3, and then proceeded to play 6 to 9 games back to back to back to back to back, and didn't watch a single Blu-ray.
I was asking you, Anton. What is the first game? Because everybody has this memory of every console they probably first got. What is the first game on PS3 that was like, hell yeah, this is a great PS3 game? I have to if any time in the future I buy a PS3 just to replay this game, I want to get this game first.
I mean, that was literally the day I got it, between Little Big
Also,
Planet.
Uncharted 2 didn't come out until 2009.
Little Big Planet.
Okay, so Little Big Planet 1.
Yeah. I'd probably say that is the going back the furthest, like a game that I'd go back and revisit, and yeah.
Honestly, that's not a bad choice. Little Big Planet is a solid platformer game.
Right.
And it came out in 2008, 2 years after this.
Came out the
it
year
makes
before
sense.
the Slim came out.
It literally makes sense why Anton says PS3 had 2 bad years, and then on the going into the third year, it was a great console because Little Big Planet was going into the third year.
Right, but that wasn't for me. That wasn't the only game. I got Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. I got Star
but that
Wars: The
doesn't
Force
necessarily
Unleashed.
count.
I got, in that same time frame, I got Bayonetta. Like, a lot of these are games, and while Star Wars probably doesn't hold up, Ninja Gaiden Sigma.
No,
2,
Star Wars still holds up.
Hold the
Force
fuck
Unleashed
up! You
1 and
do
2 are
not
still
hate
very
on
fun
Force
games.
Unleashed like that.
Like, those are
Hey,
still, they
fuck.
got their flaws,
I'm
but those
trying
games
to
are
help
still fun.
y'all's case currently, and y'all gang up on me. Sorry, fuck it. It's
We're
a
not
great
ganging
game.
up on you.
I'm not
agree that
ganging
Force
up
Unleashed
on
still
you.
holds, but
May
we
the
also agree that
4th?
most of the best games from 2008 are third
Actually,
parties.
may the fourth be with you. You are also correct.
May the
Okay.
4th be with you.
I was literally just I'm agreeing with you, Anton. I do love to know currently streaming Mega Man Legends. That is my game for PlayStation 1. That is the game that, even though it came out for came out on N64 as Mega Man N64, Mega Man Legends is my game that that brings me back to the PlayStation 1. So
My
I was
game
trying
for
to say,
PlayStation 1 is Tekken
what
3.
brought you back to? See, there you go. There's a
PS1
game for
game.
every single console that
Need for
brings them
Speed.
back to that console, and I was just trying to figure out what game that was for you. I'm not attacking PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 was great. I had both Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Right.
Whether or not
I guess I
which
had a
system I
360.
liked more doesn't matter in this conversation. We've had that argument before. That's not what I'm trying to make right now. I'm just saying, what made you love the PS3
The games.
as a gamer? Like
The game.
that's where that was my point.
Oh.
That's where I was trying to get to.
Also, I just as an example of something that I know isn't my answer personally, but is a really big argument, is a game that's still exclusive to the PS3. That's a major game that people will sometimes just buy a PS3 to play, or will use PlayStation Now. Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, I guess they should buy Metal Gear.
I'm not a PS3 hater. This is my favorite PS3 game. Freaking Blur. Infamous 1 is my favorite PS3 game. Like,
And
Can't
that
be it.
came out
Literally-
Infamous 1 is so good.
Infamous
And I'm not a
1.
PS3 hater. I was mostly just bitching about selling features that should have been just in the console and trying to sell it to us later, because fuck that.
That's fair.
I will always complain about that.
I mean, I can't be a PS3 hater. I literally actively have a PS3 hooked up and ready to play at all times.
I have two.
PS3 had
Neither of
great-
them are hooked up.
The PS3 was, I mean, I don't really believe there was, outside of specifics, outside the specific cases that we all know, I don't think for the most part there's such thing as a bad console. Outside of the specific cases we all know. But I don't think there's such thing as a bad console. Like, they all had bangers on them, you know?
Yeah. Sam,
Which console is
like-
the best?
which
you only got
console
one
is the
choice.
best?
You only got one
Technically-
choice.
Console's the best.
Technically,
My
your
fully
favorite.
hacked PC with everything on it.
I think my favorite
PCs don't
console.
count.
The ROM collection on my PC.
I think
PCs don't count.
my favorite console of all time will be PS2 because I could still play my PS1 games,
My favorite console.
go into PS2, and that was the time where couch co-op. I mean, because couch co-op was kind of still the only thing
That
you
was
had.
co-op.
That was co-op. I mean,
My
I
favorite
fucking love me
console
some
is the
couch co-op.
PS4.
Fair enough. It
And the
does have,
PS5
like,
has the potential. Like, the PS5 is still too new to say, but it can play all the games that were on PS4. And the thing I loved most about PS4 is I had just all types of shit. Just any genre or like kind of game that I wanted to play and I could even old games. Like, I had PS1 stuff on my PS4. Like, not native, but like I have Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. All PS1 games. I had PS2 games with Final Fantasy 10 and 12. And then PS3 games, Final Fantasy 13. Well, not 13. I still need my remaster collection. Square
will
sold
say-
all those Western studios. Like, we're pretty much running out of time, and I think we'll have more.
The long and short of the Square thing is Square sold off their best Western companies so they can get into the no fucking thanks business. That's really what happened.
Fair.
But we might finally get the third Deus Ex game. Because the thing about it is the Eidos Deus Ex games are really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
really
but the
good.
thing is, Square was also those studios were sold to the Embracer Group, and what does that really mean? Are
Well,
they going to
currently
crank
means,
out games? Are they going there just to sit dormant for a while? Are they putting these people in these
Crystal
studios and
Dynamics is still
cryo
working on
sleep
not Crystal.
and fucking
Who's doing
have them stocking up?
Crystal Dynamics is doing a new Tomb Raider still.
No.
No?
Wait, who's doing Perfect Dark? No, Crystal Dynamics is still doing a new Perfect Dark game.
Right, yeah. I mean, some of these, pretty much a lot of these teams
I
are
need that
working on
Perfect Dark
things.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in like 3 years.
Yeah, we'll see. Right, when
Heck,
that happens.
If you're lucky.
I don't care about how long it takes for a game to release as long as it's complete and it's good. You know, we got to see what happens when developers are like, "Oh, we can just patch later. The games count like shit." Okay,
Yeah,
let the game take their time.
I guarantee that's how
release
this
the
game's
game
gonna
good,
come out.
and also don't abuse your employees.
Mm-mm.
The game's gonna drop undercooked. I can promise you that.
Okay. So, I guess with that, remember you can follow us all collectively around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. Chris
Wait,
got
hold on.
one more thing. What's up,
I
Chris?
do have a one more thing because all three of us said what our favorite console of all time was, but Madrid never answered. And I did want to add that 360 in my teenage years to very young adult years would be one of my favorite consoles of all time as well, just because of the online play. But I do want to know, Madrid, what is your favorite console of all time?
Well, thank you for asking. For me, I would say it's actually the PS4 because that's the console that got me back into video games, like fully. Yeah, I got to go back and play like some older games. I was able to keep up with the current releases. I came in like the middle of the generation, so it was just up from there. Honestly, Monster Hunter, Destiny 2, Overwatch. Just plenty of shit. A lot of it was multiplayer.
I think that does like.
Don't even get me started on Persona. Final Fantasy 6, Kingdom Hearts 3.
You mentioning Destiny 2 like brings me back to when like I was living in an apartment and we were just all like, we were all playing Destiny 2 together, playing the raid, and we were just all like kind of starting to play together. I mean, I know me, Jay, and Anton were playing before then,
I
but
work
like
with this dude, Madrid.
yeah, and it was like cool, and then we were like stayed up until like 3 or 4 in the morning trying to beat this raid with some rando over in like California or wherever the hell he was. But like that is some like the PS4 does have some solid memories of gaming.
Yeah. Besides that, I would say Game Boy Advance.
Hell yeah,
That's a good one. That's
a
good one.
great one.
I always had that thing on me.
I'd say DS
Ain't
just
that
because it could
motherfucking
play
fun.
the GBA library and the DS library.
Yeah, I feel.
I will say, if to name a console specifically, 360 for me. For me, it was the 360. Like,
yeah.
You let
that
them
engaged
hard yards fly.
those two.
Look,
Hey, you know what?
I
I'm going to
switched
tell you this
from
right now. I'm
fucking
going to tell you this
Xbox
right
360
now.
to PlayStation 3, and ain't nobody different over there.
I'm going to be 100. Nothing makes you
It's
feel
just
like
that
you really
generation.
ruined somebody's
People
life
on
than getting a message, just getting called a slur in chat. I'm sorry. Nothing makes me feel like I didn't just ruin your freaking day like getting called a slur. That just makes me want to hunt you down and ruin your life more. That's how I learned to grief in Warcraft. You say a slur, I camp you until you log out the fucking game. I was not nice in my games back then. I was mean.
People who play multiplayer
I would camp you until you logged out of the game. Straight up. You don't get to play no more.
That's fucking amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my
Anybody
one more
else
thing.
got
I just
one
wanted
more
to know.
thing?
Can confirm though, the GameCube was always the console that I wanted.
Yeah, it was the console I always wanted, but all my friends had.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of my friends had a GameCube before I got a GameCube, but then I got a GameCube. That was
the one
GameCube
console
was
I never
my-
owned.
GameCube was my main console that generation. Over PS2, over original Xbox, GameCube was my
Also,
main
I
console.
know that PS2 was way better than the Xbox, but I had an Xbox. My brother had the PlayStation 2, and one day his shit stopped working, and he never replaced it. So this was right when God of War was coming out, Kingdom Hearts was coming out. I'm like, are you gonna get a new one? He's like, nah, it's whatever. And would play Madden on my Xbox. I'm like, you bastard.
Yeah, but that start, that Halo, that first Halo and that Halo 2, that's pretty much all they fucking had, but that was great.
Yeah, I know Halo 2 like the back of my hand. Still do.
Yep.
I'm sure.
Pre-PSP/PS3, I was Nintendo hardcore, like through and through Nintendo, until PSP into PS3, and that's what Those were the flames that tempered me into the PlayStation fanboy I am today.
See? The games and the consoles that made us.
All right.
Cut my teeth up a PC, never look back. Let's go.
Remember
Only 2 of those consoles we mentioned let you look up porn.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot more than 2.
No, there's definitely more that we mentioned that can look up porn.
I think there might
Like,
be
I'm
one
just gonna
that
say
we
this right now.
mentioned that can't.
It's more than 3. It's more than 3.
Well, I guess I was
They gave
living
you
wrong.
access to real DGen hours with that one.
We just had dial-up. Oh,
Porn still came on
damn.
DVDs in the PS2 era.
That was a thought. That was one hell of a thought.
I mean, shit, they still come out on DVD now.
Yeah,
Wait, do they? Actually, I don't.
Yes.
They might have just said
Yes.
fuck it.
No, the answer is yes.
Do
They
they?
do?
I could see.
Like
Oh, yeah.
brand new, like current
Well, yeah.
content.
Do they still put shit in gas
Probably.
stations? Because I don't remember the last gas
I feel
station.
like that's just
walked
a
in and
waste
they
of
had,
resources
an
at this
adult
point.
section. That's true.
Nah,
We gotta get the hell out of
because
here.
think about who go. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
for the
is-
people who go to the cons, like that one image you posted.
Nope,
Come on,
Okay,
nope,
hold
nope,
on.
come on.
Yeah, hey, y'all.
Cheesy Controller
come on.
Podcast.
Tell me I'm
good.
wrong. Tell me I'm
You can
wrong.
follow me on Twitter at Anton6 with 3 X's. Chris, where can people find you?
You can follow me at Y'all Need Jesus. Just kidding. It's at Chef and Chris.
I don't know if people want to find you while you're, but while you're being full, the most degenerate squid in the sea. But Jalen, where can
I
people
mean,
find
look, it's real DGen hours. And you can follow me at Squid Bishop. I'm not a degenerate on Twitter. I would like to say that.
Just on Tumblr.
I have not been a degenerate on Twitter. I'm a degenerate in the Discord.
Madrid?
Okay, well, it was just a con, right? And we talk about cons as a gaming podcast because there's cons everywhere. You can follow me at Speedwagon X.
All right, this has been a No Scope production. The video version is edited by Lana Twisted Mind. The audio version is edited by Iknowjones. Until next time, keep it cheesy.